two potential people that would be able to take over as a volunteer. The training sessions have not, will not be scheduled until later in the month of October, if not into November. They're not quite ready to roll this program out. So I do have the number and we have the information, so if anybody needs this type of assistance, we will be here and able to connect the dots until such time as someone can be so designated. Is that all right?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table.
Okay.
Move to table item 3A till our next regularly scheduled meeting.
Okay. Motion is made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Is there discussion?
Just want to, have we asked for input from the different veterans organizations in town, such as?
I have. I've had conversations with Kay Robert and a number of other folks.
Okay.
And there's just a variety of communities within the veterans community that we want to make sure are reached, so that that's part of the situation. But we're waiting for that. We've had a couple of miscommunications there, so.
Yeah, because it'd be nice if whoever we do ultimately appoint comes with a, a thumbs up recommendation from our veterans organizations in town as well.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Thank you. Motion is made to table and seconded. And hearing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. The next item is dispatch consolidation update. I wanted this on the agenda to bring you up quickly as to what's happening. As you know, the town of East Lyme, the town of Waterford, the town of New London, city of New London are working on a 3-town program to move that forward. We did provide you with a copy of that program. And now our committee, the town of East Lyme being represented by Fireman Bill Allen, has been working diligently on an implementation plan. They've had a couple of meetings with some of the stakeholders and have tried to gather some information and move the thing forward. As I mentioned during the beginning of this process, I feel it's my job to bring you the best and most current information that we possibly can and multiple deals so that this board and ultimately anyone else who may be involved will have a good option and a good choice. So we had applied for getting KX, which is a regional communications center in the Colchester region, to come down to the town of East Lyme Dispatch. We made a proposal to that. Mr. Morris and I and members of our support radio team went before the KX board on Monday up in Colchester and outlined our proposal and answered some questions. Thirdly, we've had some conversations with Montville with regard to moving in there. So we have 3 separate initiatives moving forward, and I just want to let you know that those are moving forward. No decisions have been made. No offers have been made on behalf of KX to determine what they're doing. They're interviewing, as I understand, Mr. Morris, they're interviewing a number of other folks that day to try to consolidate with. I ultimately think that this should probably be a bigger picture, that if KX ends up coming down here, perhaps Montville should be involved, perhaps New London, Waterford, and East Lyme should all be involved, and maybe Valley should come in, and we would perhaps end up with a 15 or 20 town dispatch center. But the good news is that everybody is speaking to each other about possibilities, that we're taking this in a methodical fashion, and that I will have to bring to this board for their decision a number of options that hopefully will be made very clear, and that the board will have a good opportunity to make what they believe is the right decision. So we'll continue to do our due diligence.
We have received, shall we say, an interim report. Is there any written report that we could review for the other 2 potentials?
But there's a one-page report I got. I have Chris Taylor and Forrest Andrews working on the Montville and East Lyme single combination. There is a proposal that we have with KX. I believe we can get you whatever that information is. You can read the proposal that we presented to them. There are some issues with that because they're a separate corporation with liabilities and revenues that need to be worked out. So that's going to be a year anyway, even if we decided it today. So there's some issues that have to be done, but yes, we'll be happy to provide you with that information.
you.
And then the implementation plan that is being worked on by New London Waterford is not yet complete. They have until the end of the year, the calendar year, to do that. Any other questions before we move on? And I guess we're gonna talk about no communications that I see. And then ex officio reports.
I have no report. Zoning was canceled, their last meeting.
Ms. Hardy or Mr. Siri, whoever?
Same for me. I had a building committee, but they did not have a meeting either.
As a follow-up to my previous report regarding the Board of Education, they have been researching the particulars for the proposals for construction aid from the state. The new proposals that have come in since we had our last school renovation project are much more complex, and they are required by the state to solicit at least 4 to 6 firms, and they have 4 to 6 months to complete that. There is an RFQ that is out. They have a 1-month reply period pending, and most of the criteria this time around is dictated by the state. There's a subcommittee working on that. Also, with the redistribution of the LoCIP funds, the Board of Ed is able to use part of those funding monies to go towards increased school security. So they plan to supplement some existing funds, adding additional cameras, including some additional measures of security, particularly at the middle school, and trying to put more cameras on the school buses. Last night I attended the Planning Commission. Mr. Ellis gave a similar presentation on the Woodman's Trust proposal, similar to what he presented to us, with a few variations. And they also discussed the Darrow Pond subdivision. And originally in that plan for the subdivision, there were 2 teardrop-shaped islands that were to be kept, so to speak, as open space with plantings and other types of vegetation. And these islands are actually located within the existing roadways. So the request to the Planning Commission was to allow these islands to be tarred over, providing for a wider turnaround area at those 2 points. The Planning Commission approved that. There also had been an alternate suggestion that pavers be put in, and that is not allowable under the existing subdivision regulations. So in order to have that happen, if that was the desire of the developer, I assume in consultation with the residents, they would have to come in for an amendment to the to the Planning Commission regulations, and first of all get an approval for that exception, and then subsequently approve it in a 2-step process. That's all I have for a report this evening.
My report. There will be tomorrow evening an informational meeting on the solar park that is being constructed up off Walnut Hill and Grassy Hill Road. And the solar farm, I went up and toured that after the last meeting that was held here. There's some concerns by the residents that abut the property. I talked to the construction team. They are coming down here tomorrow to make a presentation on exactly what is happening. That's at 7 o'clock here at Town Hall. We've made a notification to the abutters. We've worked with the construction team and some of the abutters to help solve some of the problems, specifically the well that one had. But it has been quite noisy all day long up there during the removal of the trees and the associated land clearing that's going on there, and hopefully that's winding down. And but all of that information will be here, so anybody has any questions regarding what is going on up there, you're welcome to come. You don't need to be in a butter or a neighbor up there. You're welcome to come and listen, and the construction team will give a report on what's going on.
Before you go on, has there been any contact with the Connecticut Sighting Council?
I did speak to the attorney for the Connecticut Sighting Council. They say they don't come down to these meetings, but they referred me to the plan that they had, which the construction team is going to bring down here, so we're gonna see what happens if we can modify that. But they did say that if the abutters get together and ask for a specific change in the sighting plan from, the site plan from the Sighting Council, we could write a letter as a community and ask, for example, that the time of operation be altered to provide for noise more concentrated in a better time, et cetera. So we're gonna wait and hear what the abutters have to say, and if they want us to do that, then we'll contact the Sighting Council, but they were at least listening to us. And not
So the
saying
Sighting
no.
Council has been made aware that there are concerns.
And they actually send an inspector from the Sighting Council down, and he did look at the site to make sure that they were in compliance, but
And his decision was that they were?
they were currently within the permit realm, yeah. So. I attended a meeting of the Montlands Inland Wetlands Group for the purposes of a minor, not a minor, but a change in the regional interconnection as it crosses Latimer Brook just over the Montville East, just over the line into Montville. We had originally planned on putting an overhead pipe adjacent to the bridge, but off the bridge there. We had some concerns about that, but when the design was done, there were more concerns about directional drilling. When the contract was awarded and the money was the contract was awarded in 3 phases, one for the pump station, one for the tank, and one for the installation of the pipe. The fellow who got the pipe, Halleck, indicated that he knew of a person that could do the directional drilling. It would be a money saver for the town. So we interviewed that with the designer, the architects, and the construction team, and it was decided that it could be done at a savings. It would be better environmentally, it would be certainly better visually, and the team from Maine, who is expert in this particular field of endeavor, was hired to come down to do that directional drilling, but we had to go to the Montville Wetlands Commission to get that change for the permit, which they granted. So you begin to see that process coming up shortly. There was a 15-day wait on that, so I think in the next 2 weeks that ought to be started. The regional interconnection project is, I believe, about 75% of the pipe is laid, and we have about 55% or so of the time allocated for that during the contract, so they're ahead of schedule. I did tour the new cancer center, which is a wonderful facility over there in Waterford. We had a COG meeting, a department head meeting, and a water and sewer meeting, and there was the CCM convention that I attended today. I attended a meeting, a dinner meeting with the Chinese delegation that came over. We're going to be a sister city with the Board of Education, and they're going to send some students over here, I guess. So there was a welcome dinner for them on Monday night, and the Department of Correction held a update on the fuel leak over there at the prison, York facility. It seems to move to the next phase from remediation to prevention of any future endeavors, so that process is moving forward, and it seems to be, our well is safe. There is nothing that is getting in or toward the well, so now we're taking the next phase step into making sure that this doesn't happen again, and that the well is protected further in the event this does happen again. And then finally, our longtime friend Bill Dwyer lost his bride and the love of his life, and we attended that wake, and our condolences, I'm sure, as a community, goes out to Bill Dwyer, who's been a long time member of our zoning commission, and just a wonderful couple, and I was sad to see that, but our condolences for that. And that's my report. Comments or questions? Hearing none. Any public comment? Did you have something, Mr. Lukowski?
Gary Lukowski, 12 Methodist Street, Chairman of Smith Harris Commission. First of all, I'd like to thank you for the appropriation approval. We'll make it less painful next year because it's a budgeted item now, and we'll be able to get it all in at once, and we'll work from there. Just some things that are going on in the Smith Harris Commission. First of all, we're still looking for 2 members. So we need to get these 2 members on board as soon as possible. The curator has taken some of the load off of us, but we do need the membership on the commission so that it's going to be difficult, especially during the winter months, to get a quorum. So, just to update you on some items, on October 30th, at the house, the youth center is using the house for a trick-or-trunk program, using the barn, and in the house, the Friends and the Commission are putting on a reading program of Halloween-appropriate literature. There'll be 3 rooms involved. Each room will have a different reading, about 10 to 15 minutes apiece. So it's just a pilot program. We hope next year that we'll be able to do 6 rooms and have each room run a little bit longer. The tales will be of hauntings in the New England area. The commission also has given the Friends permission for their annual wreath sale on the 7th and 8th of December, and we will be holding an open house with the decorated house at that time. The Christmas play this year was moved to the 12th because of the light parade being on the 7th this year and the ice program there. Just want to keep you updated so that you all can attend and enjoy our time that we're enjoying out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak? Mr. Mingo?
I'd like to make a request that heretofore, any future negotiations on this Woodman Trust land purchase be held in open session. FOI allows an executive session only to protect the purchase price. Since the purchase price is already known, there's no reason and no legal reason why you should go into executive session to discuss this stuff. The public has a right to hear what's going on. And the second issue here that disturbs me is the East Lyme Land Conservation Trust is a major abutter to this South Park, and I just found out tonight that you're having a meeting and no one notified us. We have over 1,000 feet of abutting property.
Who?
The land trust,
Abutting what, I'm
the cell park, the cell phone,
sorry? Oh, the solar?
The solar panel?
solar farm.
Okay, well, it's been on the web, it's on TV, it's
Well,
in the paper.
You know, we're entitled to be notified. If you're gonna notify the abutters, we're a major abutter.
Meyer.
You know?
Please accept my apologies for
Well,
that.
you know.
Yep.
Thank
So,
you.
I missed
Oh,
it.
I do wanna mention one other thing about Darrell's Pond. Good fish management requires a certain amount of fish be removed from a pond every year to keep it healthy. Otherwise, the fish become small. I'll give you an example. Sketcher-Farrell's pond, the DEP required that he take out 250 pounds of fish a year to keep the pond healthy. And the other thing that's been talked about Darrell's Pond is Mr. Gephardt it would be severely interested in getting a fish ladder from Latimer Brook into Darrell's Pond so the alewives can get in there. And they would be very happy for this to happen. It would put us in good graces with the fish people in terms of how we manage our wells. They would love to have this opportunity. So just to keep that back in the back of your mind, a reason why we need to get this thing settled with the ridiculous caveats that they put on these deeds. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mingo. Anyone else like to speak under public comment? No? Selectmen's response? Just have 2 items. The light parade was mentioned. The light parade committee is going to move the light parade from Sunday night to Saturday night this year on December 7th. That was a move that was made. There was a lot of discussion downtown. Saturday night, this is the 25th anniversary of the light parade, so they want to do a little bit more of a special occasion to it, and they want to make sure that more people can attend, and they think that Saturday night will allow them to do that. There have been some pros and cons, but that's, I believe, the decision. Also, I believe in your packet, you have a copy of the Samuel Smith, or is this? Everyone has that. This is the Samuel Smith House and Property Historic, Historic Property Study Report. And this is what Luann talked about, and this is going out to the various groups. So if you don't have a copy in front of you, just let me know and make sure you get it. Any other selectmen comment? I'd like to thank our crack technical team for keeping us live and in audio. Appreciate that. And entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, Ms. Hardy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Say good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you very much for coming, and thank you for watching.